Well, hello, Phil. Oh, my monitor's turned up long. Hey, Phil, how you doing, buddy? Okay, I think we might be close. Let me turn this down a little bit, and we'll try. Hey, Bruce, how you doing, man? Okay, let me rearrange myself here. We've got Mr. Flipchart in today. Got to get him coffee. Those of you in, well, especially central Alberta, Canada, it's not funny. How are your vehicles? Boy, I tell you, holy cow, we had some killer hail last night. I'm seeing some video on TikTok and whatnot this morning, and boy, oh boy, I think it's going to be a lot of vehicles that have been written off, which is interesting. This has nothing to do with the topic, but it's interesting because people can't get new vehicles anyway. So I'm really curious. So these vehicles that are being written off, so people are going to have to buy another vehicle, but I'm not really sure where they're going to buy another vehicle from, I tell you. I was watching, I think it was on Netflix. It was one of the reality shows, and it was about custom car builders in Cuba. And I don't know how old it was. But of course, they can't get parts, and a lot of the cars that are there are older anyway, and they can't get parts. And even if they could, they sure can't get them into the country. So it's almost like an underground market, where boy, if you had a carburetor for a '56 Chevy, like it was worth gold, right? And there'd be these guys that would search for months and months and months for one part that we would go to either junkyard or a swap meet or something like that and buy it. So in some respects with vehicles, you have to wonder. I heard it on the radio, don't know which dealership it was, and the whole thing was promoting how we want to buy your vehicle, we want to buy your used vehicle. So now if that isn't kind of interesting times, I don't know what is. Okay, on with the topic. This is a teaching moment, so I think what I'm going to do, geez, I got stuff all over the place here. What I'm going to do is do teaching moment intro. Here we go. Okay. Mr. Flipchart's here. Right here, I'll be bringing... Oh, geez, I got to turn this off here. Turn my timer off. Mr. Flipchart's here, and I'll be bringing him in a second to help us understand this concept. This is, well, like anything really. Oh, hold on. Like anything really, we don't master something. We master managing. Yes, my backdrop is falling down here, and I got to hang it up again, but I didn't get that far. So there you go. We master managing. So this is a skill that's really very powerful. In many respects, it as the headline says, taking back control by responding versus reacting. This is, as far as functionally or mechanically introducing significant change, this is the one skill that as you master it, remember, mastering, don't master it, probably gives you the highest degree of influence in interacting with and influencing your external experience. So let's just bring in Mr. Flipchart and go from there. All right. So this is you. Hold on. I just got to adjust this like that. There we go. So this is you. Here. And of course, many of you guys will be familiar with this. I call this your I am, so your soul, your spirit, whatever words you wish to use. This is your external environment. So external environment, the aspect of this present moment that you're watching this in right now that you experience with your five senses. Now, when the stimulus from your external world comes in like this. Let me adjust it a little bit. So reacting versus responding. Well, reacting versus responding to what? Your external environment. The stimulus, Another word is trigger. I'm not going to say always, okay? But for our purposes here, comes from your external environment and comes to you. So this is the path that it follows. It goes from the external to you. Now, if there was nothing in here, you'd be laughing. You would observe it. You could contemplate your response. Then you could carry through with your response. The trouble is, this space in the middle is anything from empty. One of the major players in this space in the middle, I before E except, I think that works. Belief systems. Or you could call it another word, is truths. Or even, if you will, rules, I suppose. So in order for this stimulus, can't remember what color I used, I'll use this one, to get to you, it's got to go through here. So what are some belief systems? Well, let's see. One of them is, I will never have an abundance of cash. Another one is, I am always sick. Another one is, bad things always happen to me. Another one is, and here's the thing, and so often we kind of go on the dark side of this, but there's other belief systems that are just as true. I'm always healthy. I always have more than enough cash. Things always work out for me. One of my fundamental truths, this kind of fits in with this. So one of the fundamental truths that I create and focus on is everything works for my benefit. Now, there's all sorts of different directions we could go with that, but just for now, that's one of them. So when you think about it, these belief systems tend to be like rules, or can, as they're often referred to, is filters. So what happens is, from a mechanical perspective, I use that color. I'll still use it, it's fine. Is the stimulus or the trigger, the information, goes through this before it gets to you. Now, when some of this stimulus interacts with a particular belief system, right? Now, if there is no truth about something, a belief system in place, then it just goes straight through. See, this is sometimes why I think beginner's luck. So there's this phenomena called beginner's luck. So when somebody starts something, or everything seems just to work, right? But then it doesn't take very long before it doesn't, and things start kicking into play. And I think what that is when it's a brand new thing, it goes straight through. But as we continue to do it, what happens is these guys start to get into the picture, because what they're doing, that's supposed to be an eyeball, is they're looking at all this stuff. Now, if we don't have a rule in place about a certain type of stimulus, they don't care. No rules, no filters, no belief systems. But if it is something, so for instance, here's another common one. A rule could be, I'm always going to be overweight. We'll just use that one. So if this stimulus comes in here, you decide you're going to go to the gym, you set up a schedule, you do all this kind of stuff. Now, two things may happen. The first thing that may happen is these guys may pick up on it right away. And so here's what happens. Here's you, and you make this decision that you're going to go to the gym, get back in shape. So here's what you're doing. So you've made a decision, and you want to see it manifest out here in the external. Now, sometimes these buggers can catch that on its way out. If and when they do, because it doesn't align with this rule that I'm always going to be overweight, guess what's going to happen? they're going to try and interject here. And I wasn't exactly going to talk about this, but it's really good. They're going to interject here and try and prevent this from getting to here. So what they're going to do is when it gets here, they're going to see it. They're going to try and head it off right at the pass. And this is where the voices in your head that say, well, you've done this 100 times before and it's never worked. And you know it's in your genes. You know it's this and this and this and this and this, right? So they're going to try and stop it before it even happens. Or you actually start doing it. And you start to see results. Now, these guys are really going to be on that. And what they're going to do, you see in here, right? They were stopping you internally. Now, they're still internal, but what they're going to do here is they're going to try and override this decision you made here. Okay, I'm going to say that again because that's really valuable. So you have made a decision to do something different. Okay, you did it, and you start to see results, right? These guys have now noticed that. I mean, they would have noticed it here, but maybe for some reason they were sleeping. And you start to see results, and they notice it here. So now what they're going to do is they're going to try and break. See, because here's what happens. You see results. You go, oh, this is working. And that gets this. Then you see more results. This is working. And this is working. And this is working. So they start to get that momentum going. So they have to stop that. So what are they going to do? So here this comes. Here's this stimulus. Now here's what's really crazy. Here's a stimulus that you want to see. But if it doesn't align with a rule, a truth, a belief system, what they're going to do is rather than you seeing this and enhancing this behavior, they're the ones that are going to react. So what happens is the information is coming this way, but before you can respond, they're going to react. So to add those two words to our map, and I will choose a different color here. Let's purple. That's interesting. So when it goes this way and then back out, right? This is responding. Okay. When it goes this way and goes back out, this is reacting. Okay, you see how that works? This happens an awful lot. Have you ever had this happen? I know you have. Here comes the stimulus. And this is what we say, I instantly reacted. Like instantly. And often what happens is, here's the stimulus, especially if it's a trigger. It's triggered one of these belief systems, right? Here's the stimulus, you've reacted. And then what happens is, you catch up to the action. And you kind of go, like, what the heck did I just do? Right? Like it was maybe a very innocuous piece of information, but I reacted to it. Now, to say that more mechanically accurately, you did not react or did not respond to it. Your belief systems or the rules or the truths reacted to it. Now, the tricky part with this is that by definition, a reaction is acting before you thinking. Have you ever noticed that in those reactions they're kind of hard to catch because before you even know you're doing it, right? So this is why, especially in the beginning, first of all, understanding this, especially in the beginning, you're going to spend a lot of time going, oh, okay, there was a time I reacted. Oh, okay, I just reacted there. Oh, I just reacted there. Oh, geez, I just reacted there again. But like anything, the first step in changing this is learning to be aware when it's happening. So in the beginning, just practice being aware of when you react versus when you respond. Reacting is acting, then thinking. Responding is thinking, then acting. See the difference? Reacting is acting, then thinking. This is you. Responding is you. Thinking, then acting. And I find 90% of the work is kind of twofold. The first one is practice being aware of it. Why? Because the more you're aware of it, the more, and it's maybe just 1 out of 100 to begin with, but the more times you can catch that and go, oh, I want to react. No, stop. I think that's the thing. You want to catch it as quickly as you can. And again, in the beginning, it's going to be like 1 out of 100, but it's a start. You catch it and you go, wait, no, is that really the action that I want to take? Now, maybe it is, but you want to be involved in that discussion, not these past belief systems or rules. Then the second piece of this is, and you probably know already, but practice being aware of what your triggers are. So the triggers are those common stimuli, there you go, common stimuli that cause you to react. So then you know to be extra careful for those. And if you're in an environment or a situation where that stimulus is likely to show up, you can be ready. And I think that's the thing. The more you're ready, the more you can monitor these guys right here. The more you can monitor these guys right here. They're not the bad guys. It's just we need to manage them better. And we need to practice teaching or changing the rules that don't serve us anymore. Reacting versus responding. It's really, really powerful stuff. Way easier said than done. I know that. But it's very powerful. And the more you can do that, the more you can choose something different, then you can change the rules to be more suited to the ones that serve you. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That was Teaching Moment for today. Share. We're all in this together. Ask the Wizard streaming live for August the 2nd. See you on the web.